chop all these siege tanks now. Those drones really desperately trying to run for their lives. There's Wednesday Night Starcraft.
Gaming.
Hello everyone, this is Crota giving you a shoutcast and Game 1 from Wednesday Night Starcraft, Wednesday, June 29th, 2011. Unfortunately, I have to recast this game as there was some technical difficulties with the first game, so I am casting from a replay, and Matron Starcraft will not be joining me in this particular cast, but the following games are going to be that live commentary as well, so I don't know what happens, and you guys can see and hear me and Matron just pretty much talk off the cuff. We have vV Titan spawning as the yellow Zerg player over here on the right hand side of the map. Meanwhile, we have NerZhuL spawning as the blue Terran player over here on the left side of the map. This is dual site. I think I remembered to try to remember the name and then I forgot it. This is a map that is part of GSL and is now being rotated into the MLG map pool. There are only two spawning locations, one over here at the 9 o'clock location, one over here at the 3. And there are a number of expansions. There are also far gold mineral expansions as well, but only one rich Vespene geyser, so it is not a double gas. It is only a single gas with rich mineral fields and only 5 mineral patches at that, not even 6. You have a pretty decent third, an easy to expand to 2 base, but your third base is a little bit further away, and there are a lot of interesting just points to point out on this particular map. There are vents here. There is a set of vents right here, and I guess these will called molten vents. Meanwhile, over here we have brush blocking on this side of the map, so one of those maps that are fairly interesting as we now see NerZhuL making his way out with this one particular SCV. It will be coming up the ramp. On the far side, you can see a drone coming in from over here as well, and it will be able to make its way in and perhaps get a little bit of scouting and site information. NerZhuL not opening up with the double racks pressure, even though there is only 2 spawning locations. And now you can see that Titan just moving around with this one particular drone. The drone should be able to regenerate some natural hit points as the SCV trying to chase it away. There is going to be a Marine in just a moment, and they're trapping this one poor drone on the inside. NerZhuL going to get a free, easy drone kill. Meanwhile, back over here, we already have a spawning pool, and now training up for a queen. We are not harvesting any more gas whatsoever. So Titan currently sitting at 18/26 food. Meanwhile, NerZhuL will be able to get up the supply depot in just a moment. The Marine already got the kill. Scouting drone has been taken down, and what comes next is a factory. Factory already coming into play. We have 2 Marines. A third Marine could be trained, but it looks like perhaps we will be going into a reactor, as there are currently nothing there. Yeah, there you go, lifting off with that one particular barracks, and now going to be setting up a reactor for most likely reactor Hellions. Reactor Hellions, a very easy way to put down a lot of pressure onto a Zerg player early, as Titan now sets up this hatchery here. The metabolic boost already halfway completed, so those Zerglings will be trying to pop their head up and try to get a good look at what's happening on this high ground. Unfortunately for them, those Zerglings are going to have to deal with a couple of these Marines here. Now, one thing to note, the Xel'Naga watchtowers are not actually Xel'Naga towers. They are instead weird mini Protoss gateways, so I don't know what's that about, as a Zergling now trying to make its way up the ramp and unable to do so, and now doesn't spot the reactor, so that is going to be a horrible mistake coming in from Titan. Titan doesn't know about these double Hellions, and these 2 Hellions may be able to put down a little bit of pressure. We are getting 10 Zerglings that already have metabolic boost, so as long as they are able to surround those Hellions, a lot of damage could be dealt. 2 Hellions will quickly come out. A 4 food army being trained in just 30 seconds. One of the benefits of the Terran reactor, as we are also going into a tech lab here. You can see those 2 Hellions are already on their way out, and they will be making a roll and making a move, trying to clear out some of these Xel'Naga watchtowers. And what will be happening, there are a lot of Zerglings here, so those Zerglings may try to engage, and oh no, not doing a surround, as those Hellions quickly chasing after those Zerglings. The Zerglings now running beyond the brush. The Hellions deciding not to go on the far side of the brush there, as now an Overlord looking to perhaps get some scouting and site information. Another barracks being placed down. We are getting stim, and it looks as though another barracks being placed down, so that is going to be a lot of Marine production as these Hellions quickly torch down one lone Zergling. Those 4 Hellions now on the move, looking to deal as much damage as possible. There are 2 queens in play by Titan, so Titan should be able to handle this with those queens. Perhaps some damage being dealt onto a drone. Yeah, 1 drone getting taken down, but not that much. And it looked like Titan was trying to go for a bit of a trap. By having both queens down over here, perhaps he was trying to bait NerZhuL to come up with those Hellions, but there are Zerglings on the ramp that would have been able to trap them on the ramp right there and then get them taken down. A lot more drones now once again being transferred over. We are going into 3 queen play, but no sign from Titan that he wants to expand just quite yet. Instead, teching to tier 2. We are getting a lot of Hellions over here at the Xel'Naga Watchtower. More Marines are coming into play, as well as we are now finally going into tank production. So two base tank production with Marines and Stimpack, another reactor being laid down as well. So that is definitely going to be a lot of Marines, and with those siege tanks, we'll see how successful those are. Hellions now once again being able to push their way forward. There is not that much defending this location here, so Titan perhaps looking to get a bit of a flank, and it looks like those Hellions will easily get taken apart there. One Hellion already down, 2 other Hellions are left. They are not getting that much damage in, and down they go. So nicely done by Titan. Titan able to clean up the rest of NerZhuL's leading forces of Hellions, and now just going to try to deal against all of these siege tanks and Marines. Those Marines do have stim, as the Zerglings now trying to run in, trying to get a decent surround, deciding not to engage. And I'm not quite sure about that. Those Zerglings did take a fair amount of damage, but without siege tech, he had a small window of opportunity to try to at least trade armies a little bit, unless he is already going into a Baneling. And he does have that Baneling's nest up. He is, however, not training any Banelings, as we are getting in 1 or 2 Zerglings, activating these Xel'Naga Watchtowers here. I guess the red tower and the blue tower on the north and south sides of the map. There is also this funky building in the center that makes it very difficult to do any runarounds. You can't really see it on the minimap, but I'm pretty sure you cannot simply just run through here. There is an Overlord off on this position, most likely trying to set up to see if there are any drop play. It can easily see any dropships that try to fly by. Zerglings are now morphing into Banelings, and the burrow is about to be researched, so we may get some Baneling landmines in just a few seconds. We can see NerZhuL, though, quickly macroing up. We are at 40 SCVs compared to 54 drones, with more drones still being produced, and now we are going into the Spire, so NerZhuL is going to have a very small window to try to press out and deal damage. 3 siege tanks with now 1 medevac in play. I don't see any additional siege tanks being trained, even though there is a plenty of gas and minerals. So not quite sure what NerZhuL is doing. He really needs to stay up on top of his macro. Finally queuing up more Marines now and making a move. We are also seeing a missile turret and some more Marines being added on. The Marines now making a beeline move and doing a very strong timing push. Should be able to shut down this hatchery in just a moment. The Banelings here did not catch any of those units that are making their way in, so the Marines are going to be able to just simply destroy that. Down goes 1 drone as a scanner sweep revealing all of those Banelings here, and these Banelings here are also backing off. Siege tanks are now continuing to push their way forward. Marines getting as much. Marines now have that stim pack and that combat shield. The Marines are already splitting themselves up, and we'll see how much damage can be dealt as the creep tumors are now getting cleaned up. The Banelings do not have that movement speed just quite yet, and I believe it's just going to be a matter of timing. If he can time this just right, Titan should be able to bust this, unless NerZhuL does a decent Marine split. The Marines are now coming in. The Banelings did not go after those targets at all. And now we have, 2 siege tanks and a lot of Marines left. Those Marines are now going to be pushing their way forward. Such a large number of Marines. Marines going to be able to shut down that one particular queen. And wow, Titan has to say GG. Titan sitting on 2,500 resources. So Titan was prepared to macro up, but he didn't really train that many of his units. I think his macro just slipped too far, and there was the GG. So yes, NerZhuL taking Game 1 for Kiwiclones army. Kiwiclone or trained their manager, or I guess their coach, is Kawaii Rice. So yes, thanks for watching, thanks for listening. Hope you guys enjoyed this 1v1 matchup between vV Titan and NerZhuL, who here in this game one in this best of 7 series.